Whether or not they distribute them as dividends is besides the point. So in a sense, I'm going to call that P star. My valuation for S&P 500 is expected earnings next year, or think of this as expected earnings over the next 10 years, discount rate minus growth, where expected average earnings over the next 10 years. It's like a forward Shiller's PE. It's similar to Shiller's PE. So that means P star over E bar star 10 is forward-looking Shiller's PE. Okay. Here R is the discount rate. For the market. And G is the expected growth rate, expected long-term growth rate. And technically speaking, this model would say next year's dividend divided by R minus G, but I'm going to use the average for that. So we will use past earnings average to estimate future earnings average, which means I need to apply 10 years worth of growth using G to E bar 10, which is the past. So 1 year growth, 2 year growth, 3 year growth, 10 year growth. The average years of growth is 5.5. Average of integers from 1 to 10. By the way, in general, sum I equals from 1 to n divided by n is equals n plus 1 over 2. That is a formula that was actually developed by Gauss when he was in second grade. He was 8 years old. It's based on sum of the numbers n times n plus 1 over 2. So if you wanted to calculate sum of the numbers from 1 to 5, 5 times 6 over 2, so that would be 15. So the average would only be 2.5, or 3, I'm sorry. So that means I can estimate future expected earnings as 1 plus G raised to the power 5.5 times past expected average earnings. Now, I'm going to kind of do a little bit of hand waving and a little bit of using economic theory. If P star is equal to E bar star 10 over R minus G, P star over E bar 10 equals 1 over I minus G. or R minus G is equal to which is equal to E bar 10 times 1 plus G 5.5 divided by P star. But you recognize this as 1 over cape. And we have a number for that. For example, as of today, cape for S&P 500 is using that MultPL database. Oh, I wrote over it. No, I didn't. It's still here. Shiller PE ratio, it's currently 29.93. With these things, just round them up. Is 30. Okay. So this basically says R minus G equals 1 over 30, or approximately 3.33%. The only question is, what is G? I mean, we could estimate G. Oh, I'm going to get to that. And we could estimate G as, let me see if I done this correctly. G is long-term growth rate of the economy. Remember, if you're investing everything, if you invest your money into all the assets, there is no way that investment is going to grow faster than the economy, because you're investing into everything, right? So let me see if I done this correctly. Oh, this is so I need to have this one plus G raised to the power 5. The trouble is that R is the market expected market return. Here we can act in two ways. We can either get R, which is expected rate on the market, as equal to G plus 1 plus G 5.5 divided by cape. Since we already have an estimate of RF, market risk premium is basically, let's call this R star minus RF. So if we did this for our purposes, a lot of economists agree these days over the long-term U.S. economy is expected to grow about 2.5% in real terms, and expected inflation, we can calculate the implied inflation and long-term implied inflation using long-term nominal bonds and inflation-linked bonds. For example, nominal 30-year bonds yield 4.75. Nominal TIPS, which are Treasury inflation-protected securities, their yield are in real terms. So it's 233. Approximately the difference between the two is the expected average inflation. That's the rate expected by the market. It doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be the case. So that's about 240-ish or so. Based on TIPS yields, it is about 2.4% as of now. But remember, Fed has a long-term target of 2. Whether or not they'll be able to achieve that is a different issue. So our G is going to be about 4.9%. Then we can calculate our star, which is expected return on the market, as 4.9% plus 1 plus 4.9%, 5.5 divided by 30. So if I actually calculated that, come on. So it's about 9.24%. Okay? So if we estimate RF, what was the number that we got over the last 3 months? 4.44. And market risk premium is going to be 924 minus 4.44, which is going to be 56, 76.80, 4.80. Okay. So we have RF at 4.44%. Market risk premium at 4.80%. For example, if beta equals 2.7, as it is for Palantir Technologies, the expected return on that portfolio is going to be risk-free rate